Hello, I'm calling from the Trib. I'd like to confirm a call.
Getting around for 2 hours. I'm coming up on deadline.
How much money was involved? Was it over $1,000? Was it over $10,000?
Okay, bye. What is it now?
Little kid in New York with a rare Bowden disease. One wish was to see Disneyland. A group of people chipped in to send him out. Want you to take side and give me a tight human interest piece.
Oh, I'm supposed to be covering Councilman Garbus.
Billy's got him today. Besides, you could use a break.
Hey, I've been tracking the grand jury investigation on Garbus for weeks now.
You've done it beautifully. Go.
Why can't we ever do stories on people whose one wish is to see Vegas?
City desk. Lou, you all right?
Yeah, but my sink is terminal. I called the plumber, but I have to wait for his call back.
I know a good one.
Oh, that's okay. I called a place right up the street, Chuck's Night and Day Plumbers. Keep the business in the neighborhood. I'll be a little bit late.
All right, we'll muddle through.
I'll see you in about an hour. Yeah? Oh, hello, Chuck. Yeah, I have a problem with my kitchen. Uh-huh. No, tomorrow's no good. I was thinking more like today. Actually, I was thinking more like now. Look, I'm only 2 blocks from your place. Yeah. Oh, I realize you're busy. But I gotta get to work, too. I'm all alone here. Can't you put me first? Great. Here's the address.
Why don't you ever listen to us? We're the ones you're supposed to answer to.
Yeah. Not your buddies who are converting the whole area to condominiums.
Now, we have a lot to cover.
You mean cover up, don't you?
If you'll give me a chance, I'll show you how this whole rezoning will really help you out in terms of tax.
It'll help us out of the neighborhood, you mean?
I can't afford a condominium. Where am I supposed to go?
Now, look, I respect your right to be heard,
But I think that I deserve the same courtesy. Now, if you'll just let me explain.
Yeah, let's see you explain to the grand jury about how much money you're making out of this deal.
Okay.
I've tried to be patient, but if you'd rather argue than communicate, you can argue amongst yourselves.
I can't believe it. This guy here. I thought you said these people were going to be receptive. Who set this up? Did you set this up?
You can run from us, but let's see you run from the grand jury.
Councilman Garbus, would you care to comment?
No comment.
Hey.
Mr. Grant. I'm Chuck the plumber. Sorry I'm late. The traffic was murder.
From 2 blocks away?
No, I had to come away from the valley.
Oh, I assumed you were right down the street.
I got an answering service. Where's the patient?
In here.
Yeah, I used to live around here. Right around the corner for 18 years. I got out about 5 years ago and the neighborhood started going to hell.
That's about the time I moved in.
Yeah. Let's take a look-see here.
What do you think? Can you give me a ballpark figure?
Well, the trouble is this ain't a ballpark. I'd hate to give you a figure before I get in there and see what you're really going to need.
Okay, look, I have to get to work. Why don't you call me when you have a better idea, okay? But I have to get it fixed. I gotta get it fixed.
What are we stopping here for?
This guy's got the best bratwurst in town.
Bratwurst. Here?
Yeah. This used to be a German neighborhood. I want to get a treat for my brother for dinner. He just moved down from Tacoma. He loves bratwurst.
I didn't know you had a brother.
Yeah. I'd like you and Ted to meet him.
That's right. The work you're doing is very important.
You really believe that?
Of course.
Hi, Mr. Gruber.
Hello. The Constitution of the United States guarantees that if a politician is a bum, the people have a right to throw the bum out.
He's very right. It's in the Constitution.
Then will you sign, Mr. Gruber?
Me? I didn't mean that I would...
You know he's a thief and a racist, and he hasn't kept one of his campaign promises.
Sure, why not? We have to stick together. Wait a minute, I don't want my picture taken.
From the Tribune. We're doing a story on the recall.
It's okay, Mr. Gruber. We're going to make you a star.
The world has enough stars.
This is the kind of publicity we need.
Well, if your newspaper is so desperate, why not? What could it hurt? Can you get my sign in the picture?
Sure.
I'm Billy Newman. Are you getting many signatures?
Oh, dozens. I'm Elvira Whistler, and this is my co-chairman, Anna Ortiz. That's Wissler.
Okay, and
Ortiz.
Can you read Linda's writing?
Under the night, man?
What?
Can't even read her typing.
City desk, Grant. Chuck, what is it?
Mr. Grant, are you planning to hold on to this house very long?
That sounds like an expensive question, Chuck.
Well, you know how these old houses are. If you're planning on getting rid of it, I can just patch it up for about $100 and we'll let the next guy worry about it.
How long will that last?
Well, it might last 6 years, and then again, it might not last 6 months. Or I could do the job right for you for $300, and these pipes will outlive you.
That's a lot of money. I guess we better fix it the right way.
I think that's the right decision, Mr. Grant. One thing, I'm going to need 50% deposit for the parts.
I'll have a kid drop off a check for the full amount right away. Thanks, Chuck.
I think Garbus is really feeling the pressure. He was heckled off the floor this morning during his speech. We even saw recall petitions in the strongest part of his district.
Well, before you do the story, contact the DA, see when the grand jury report on Garbus is expected out.
Right. What's the matter with Lou?
He's got problems with his plumbing.
Listen, if you need it, I've got the number of a good internist.
In other words, they're trying to get us to pay more for paper than we agreed to.
Mm-hmm. It's a tactic.
It's robbery. We have a contract.
It's their betting you'll go along with the increase rather than pay legal fees to fight it.
They're betting wrong, aren't they?
Absolutely. We've got them dead to rights.
Look at this letter their lawyer sent. He's confusing tonnage figures with numbers of rolls. I mean, he doesn't understand the issue.
Oh, he understands it. But the more paperwork like that he generates, the more he can bill his client for legal fees. It's an old trick.
I'm so glad you anticipated this kind of a problem when we originally drew up the contract. You've learned our business well.
It's lucky for us you're around. We haven't seen your boss for months. How is old Jacob?
Oh, Mr. Bauman's fine. Spends half his time in planes these days, back and forth to New York.
Say hello to him for me. If he ever comes back down to earth.
I'll try. I may be gone by the time he gets back.
Are you taking a vacation?
No, a couple of the other associates and myself are thinking about going out on our own.
Really? You'd leave the firm?
Well, because we're the ones that work in close association with the clients, it seems reasonable that they'd want to continue working with us. But we don't want to find ourselves out in the cold. You got any advice for us?
Times are hard. I'd advise you to be cautious.
Well, I'm weighing the decision very carefully. I'll get back to you on this other matter.
Good, Ron. Thanks.
Goodbye, Mr. Lindstrom.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Damn. I hate breaking in another one of Bauman's young lawyers.
That still leaves us without something to lead with. What about the garbage piece, Lou?
We're holding off on that until we see what the grand jury does.
There's a possibility of an airlines merger, but there's such a logjam of cases pending. It may be months before they rule on that.
Maybe they should rent a judge.
Rent a judge? What's that?
I knew you could buy them.
I heard about it a few days ago. To clear up the caseload, some retired judges are hiring themselves out at $500 a day.
For $600, they supply their own robes.
National. The wires mentioned a possible decision on the Howard Hughes estate.
It's a false lead. That one will be tied up in the courts for years to come.
There must be something we can use.
I'll take your pick. There's a boy in Texas suing his parents for raising him wrong, wouldn't let him go out and play football. And there's a co-ed in Delaware suing her professor because she only got a 93 on her term paper. Says she deserved a 98.
Box them together, stick them inside. Does sports have anything?
Well, there's a question of who has jurisdiction in the Raiders' attempt to move from Oakland to L.A.
Jurisdiction between the L.A. and the Oakland courts?
No, between me and sports. Since it's a story that deals with dollars and not with first downs, I say it's a business story.
Overruled. Come on, Lou. L.A.'s a big city.
Everything we've got is hanging. The Marina murders, jury's still out. The Foothill killer, trial's in recess. That ex-minister accused of running a bordello, well, the DA hasn't decided if he'll press charges.
Don't we have just one story that doesn't have to come from a judge or a DA? What have we got Rossi on?
Some human interest piece. A poor kid with a rare disease who got his wish and went to Disneyland.
Is there a lawyer in it?
No.
Sounds like page 1 to me.
Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Yes?
Hi, I'm Lou Grant. I'm your neighbor. I just live a few doors up.
Oh, yes. We always watch you jogging while we're having breakfast.
Who, you and your husband?
No, me and my cats. They like your yard so much more than mine.
I've noticed. I was just wondering if I could borrow some water. I've got plumbing problems, and they've shut off all the water in my house. That's why I haven't shaved.
Oh, certainly. I can't start my day without coffee either. How much do you want?
Oh, just fill it up to the second line. That's great. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm just so pleased so many nice people are moving into the neighborhood.
Ah.
There you are.
Oh, this is very nice of you.
Oh, it's terrible to be without water. Is there anything else I can do for you? Anything at all?
Now that you mention it, there is. Could I borrow your bathroom for just a minute?
Anything but that.
So you've decided to sell your house and move into the trim. That makes sense. Save all that money on rent. Plenty of room to entertain.
Don't start with me, Donovan.
I gather this was unplanned.
Let's just say I think we should do a major expose on plumbers.
Kitchen didn't work out?
Remember the pictures of Galveston after the last hurricane?
I thought this was a minor problem.
It was. I guess he decided to make it into a real challenge.
What's the guy's excuse?
I'd love to hear it. He was gone when I got home. When I call, all I get is an answering machine. When I go by his office, there's a sign with a happy face that says, back in 10 minutes.
Lou, you need a second opinion. I know a terrific plumber. I'll call and set up an appointment for you.
Maybe you're right. Can you shut it up for today?
Yeah, leave it to me. You missed a spot.
I think you'll find this whole smear campaign is the work of my opponent. Every time they yell racism, I lose votes.
You deny the charges, then?
They have no substance whatsoever, but it's like saying, when did you stop beating your wife? I'm in a no-win situation. And the press just perpetuates this kind of sleazy tactic.
Just a minute. Isn't the right to petition part of the political process?
In an ideal world, sure. But I'm not hiding, Miss Newman. If I'm not doing the job, anybody can come in here and tell me about it, or they can vote against me.
Your critics predict that this grand jury investigation will destroy any chance at re-election.
I've weathered other storms, but once the grand jury exonerates me, then I'll deal with the recall petition.
How do you propose to do that?
If it's legal to launch a recall campaign, I'm sure there are legal ways to stop it. And I'll find them, Miss Newman. You can count on it.
Hi.
Hi.
Vicky Doppler. I was referred by Art Donovan.
Vince Doppler.
Oh, he's my dad. He died a couple years ago. I just left his name on the business, you know, partly sentimental, partly realistic.
Mm-hmm.
People seem to prefer men for plumbers.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a woman, but considering Donovan, I should have.
Oh, I don't do the plumbing. I leave that for the guys. I just do the estimates, just like I always did.
Huh?
Oh, come on, Lou. Look at these beauties. They cost $45 a shot. You're not going to see these hands around a pipe wrench. You know, that Art, he's a terrific guy.
Yeah.
I met him with that lady friend of his who got upset and trashed the plumbing down his hot tub. Boy, was she mad.
Hmm.
You didn't happen to notice that this guy used to wrench for dynamite.
He said it wasn't a big job.
Oh, it is now. Is there always a crack in that sink?
No. The sink was fine. The pressure was low and there was a knocking.
Here's your problem. Pipes are old, clogged. Years ago, the water in this area was full of minerals. All the houses are the same.
Hmm.
You smell gas?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
Let me just get the shut-off valve there. He must have broke the gas pipe when he was trying to get to the hot water line. He must have used a sledge. Could have been very dangerous.
Is it safe?
Wow. Leave the windows open for a while.
Yeah.
Very creative, tearing down the walls like this. Come here, Lou. See, that's where he yanked out the pipe. But he didn't have to gouge the cupboards. I don't know. Let me see. 80 feet of half-inch copper. How's your bathroom?
The water's off everywhere.
You know, this job shouldn't have cost more than $150 tops. Now you're looking at around $1,200.
Oh.
You insured?
Yeah. 1,000 deductible.
It figures.
Just a little problem with the sink.
Well, we can work something out on the payments. I just want to get you back in business. I'll get my guys over here first thing tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna be sick.
Tomorrow, Lou. The toilet's not working, remember? I really suggest you take pictures of what this guy did. You know, it's guys like that that give plumbers a bad name.
Well, this is a rare pleasure, Jacob. We don't get to see much of you anymore.
You know, that's one thing I regret about the practice becoming so successful. I'm spending a lot of time back east.
Well, at least it's, no thanks, rewarding, I hope.
And frustrating. As the rewards get larger, the problems seem to grow as well, until the rewards don't seem quite worth it.
And the more money at stake, the more slowly the wheels of justice seem to grind.
Amen to that. There are times I wonder if I'm going to live long enough to see half of my cases resolved. I imagine them going on forever. Passed down from father to son, from law firm to law firm, in perpetuity. Like tickets to the Hollywood Bowl.
I'll try to view it as job security.
Everyone is lawsuit happy. There are over 100 million cases filed every year in this country's courts. And every year the law schools churn out more lawyers who don't lessen the load, they add to it.
I know. We see it all the time in our work, too.
Do you remember when we used to settle deals on a handshake? The only thing I'll sign today without legal advice is a birthday card.
Incidentally, I think you should know that some of our people are leaving. They're branching out on their own. I thought you'd better hear it from me first. It appears they're trying to take some of my clients.
I wouldn't worry about that, Jacob. Most of them have been with you for years.
Not much loyalty anymore. You bring these kids in, introduce them to important clients, and if you don't give them a full partnership within a few years, they think you're holding them back.
Well, let's not discuss business. Let's enjoy lunch. How is Eleanor these days?
She's leaving too. She wants a divorce.
What's this thing about a garbage press conference?
I sent Billy to find out. Maybe it's about the grand jury probe.
You're gonna get a follow on that sick kid story.
I guess it's worth another shot. The switchboard's taking a lot of calls with people wanting to help. I didn't think it was your kind of story.
Well, that shows how little you really know me.
Vicky taking care of your kitchen?
Yeah, no. What should have been a $150 job has turned into a $1,200 nightmare.
Is there anything you can do? Please get your money back from the first guy.
I can't even reach him, and he won't return my calls.
Hi, this is Chuck. I'm not here right now, but just leave the message after the beep. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for calling, Chuck. Nice day.
We ready?
Oh, whenever you are, Councilman.
Okay, I know you all have deadlines to meet, so I'll try to keep this short and to the point, like I usually do. The district attorney has confirmed that the grand jury has found no substance whatsoever to the charges against me, and he'll be making a statement to that effect later in the day.
Is that for all 12 counts, sir?
Certainly. Now, as you recall, when this first started, I predicted there would be no indictments because there were no grounds for it.
Do you feel the stigma of an investigation has harmed your prestige in the community?
I would like to think that the DA's affirmation of my innocence will only strengthen my reputation.
Do you think this will scuttle the recall campaign against you?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Why don't you pass those out now? But the effect on the campaign is really not the point. I believe that this whole recall movement was started with malicious intent to defame my name and character, and the people who are associated with this scheme should not go unchallenged themselves.
What exactly do you mean? Well, how do you propose to challenge 15,000 petition signers?
By making examples of the few. As you will see in these releases, I have filed suit against a group of signers, and I'm seeking $7 million in damages.
Who are these people, Councilman? Are they the organizers of the petition, or are they just citizens who signed it?
As far as I'm concerned, Miss Newman, they're defendants. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse me.
Excuse me. Maybe we can look at this.
What is it?
7 defendants. 3 are those women we saw getting the petition signed, and Gruber, the guy who owns the market.
Where'd they get him?
In the Trib. We took his picture.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E. A&E returns to Lou Grant.
Have a nice day, Mr. Gruber.
Thank you, Mrs. Rodriguez. You must be crazy. You know, $7 million. Where would I get $7 million?
Suit names 7 people, so technically you have to come up with $1 million.
Oh, only $1 million? That's different. Whoops. I thought I had it. The day must have been slower than I thought.
Mr. Gruber, I hate to ask you this, but is it okay if I take your picture?
Sure. That's how I got in this mess to begin with. Make me a star. Maybe I'll be sued for another $7 million. Is this good?
Thanks, Mr. Gruber. I'm sorry. I really hope it works out for you, and I still think you make the best bratwurst in L.A.
Tell your friends. I need to sell $1 million worth. Get out of the way, Gusty. Make yourself useful. Bite him.
I'll see you back at the office.
How many people did you say signed that petition?
Over 15,000.
And I'm the one he's suing. I never won anything in my life.
I think Garber's serious about the lawsuit. You should get a lawyer.
What lawyer? I don't even know a lawyer.
Have you ever been active in community politics before?
Does it look like I have time? The only thing I ever belonged to was the automobile club. Move, Gusty. You know, I could lose everything I won. Everything I worked for. For what? For a little protest? Why is Garber doing this?
Well, he says the petition was started with malicious intent to defame my name and character. He was most upset about the charge of racism.
That's a laugh, him and his jokes.
What kind of jokes?
Oh, I don't know. He comes in maybe twice a year. And he makes jokes, only they're not funny. About blacks and Mexican people.
Did you say anything to him about it?
Sure, I told him I don't like that kind of talk. I live with these people. These are my customers. But he don't believe me. He thinks because he's white and I'm white, I have to think the way he does. But I don't. And he's suing me?
Yes, he is, Mr. Gruber. I'd think about that legal advice.
Hey, what's going on here? This is supposed to be my job.
You mean you really want to take credit for it?
Hey, this is a ripoff. You are my customer.
I was your customer, Chuck. It's going to cost me $1,200 to clean up the mess you made.
Says who?
My new contractor, Vicky Doppler. I had to call her when Chuck's night and day left me high and dry.
And you're going to take her word for it. I had an emergency I had to go handle.
This was an emergency, Chuck.
I mean, I had a big job. I had to take care of it.
You had a big job right here, or at least you made it into one. Now, I want my $300 back, and then I'm going to send you a bill for the damages you caused.
Forget it. I put a lot of labor in there making that stuff easy to get at.
You wrecked my kitchen. Maybe we just let the courts decide.
Now, hold it. I come out here to help you out of a bind, and you're threatening to sue me?
Unless you pay for the damages, that's right.
Get in line, pal.
Here are those pictures you wanted.
Think you can get this guy to pay for the damage?
I can't let him get away with it. Now I've got to find a lawyer. Perfect. These will make good evidence.
Lou, I know a good lawyer. My brother, Kenny.
You have a brother who's a lawyer?
You have a brother?
He's been working for the public defender's office in Tacoma the last few years. He just moved down here last month. Why is it so hard to believe I have a brother?
It's just that we think of you as one of a kind.
Kenneth Price, attorney at law, Eagle Rock.
Yeah, well, he's just moved into a new office.
This address alone will panic Chuck into a settlement. And everybody knows if you can't get a lawyer with a Beverly Hills address, Eagle Rock's the next best thing.
I need a guy with talent, not an address. Okay, Animal, I'll give him a call.
Thanks. You won't be disappointed.
Rossi, you were right. That was a good follow-up on a kid.
Thanks. Well, wait till you see my next piece.
Rossi, I hate to dim this sudden enthusiasm for human interest stories, but we've done enough.
You don't understand. They took him to the hospital this morning.
Oh, my God.
No. He doesn't have the disease at all. All last year, his parents thought he was going to die, but it turned out to be a bad diagnosis. Wait till you see the story.
Miss Pinchon, you asked to see me. Hello, Ron.
Hello, Mr. Hume.
Actually, Mr. Lindstrom has asked to see both of us.
Yes. There are two things. First, I've taken care of the matter we discussed. Paper deliveries will resume next week at the agreed-upon contract price.
Good work. What's the second thing?
This is the last time I'll be seeing you. As an attorney for Mr. Bauman, that is. If I can be of any service, I would welcome the opportunity to keep working for you, and so don't hesitate to call.
I think maybe that's a very clever way of asking us to swing our business over to your new firm.
I know it's awkward. Mr. Bauman gave me and my associates a great opportunity.
And you repay him by stealing his clients.
Mr. Hume, you've been my client for nearly 2 years.
We have a relationship with Bauman and Bauman. As a result, we have had a relationship with you. For a time.
Now look, I think Mr. Bauman is a decent and honorable man. If we had come to terms, I'd still be with him.
You obviously made your decision based on what's best for you.
The question is, what's best for the Tribune? You're not Bauman and Bauman's biggest client by a long shot. You would be ours. I think we're in a position to devote more time to you. Well, I've taken enough of your time. Whatever happens, no hard feelings.
So much for loyalty, so much for gratitude.
Damn it, Charlie. He has a point.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Ken Price?
Mr. Grant. Hi. My furniture is a month late, so they sent me this rental stuff to sort of tide me over.
Oh.
I'd send them an angry letter, but my stationery is late, too. Sit down.
You and Dennis don't seem much alike.
Well, we can't all be artists like he is, I guess. What I lack is inspiration, so I have to make up for it in just hard work. Did Dennis tell you he put me through my last 2 years of law school?
No. You came from Tacoma, right? Did you practice law there?
Nearly 3 years with the public defender's office. I loved doing it, but I felt it was time I went off on my own.
Here's the original estimate from Chuck's Plumbing. These show the condition he left the kitchen in. Your brother took those pictures.
Yes. He's good, isn't he?
I think so. And here's the cost of repairs from the second plumber, who has agreed to testify.
Good. It's all here. I think we have a terrific chance to get reimbursement. I'll drop the papers and I'll bring them to your office for a signature.
That's it?
That's it.
Great. Great. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Grant.
Councilman Garvers, Mr. Barkley. I wonder if you mind if I ask your client a few questions.
Be my guest.
Well, I was just wondering why you bothered to continue with this suit. The recall movement is dead.
If I can be held accountable for actions, why not citizens as well?
Well, it seems that this suit is designed to have a chilling effect, to make people think twice before they sign a petition.
Exactly. What's wrong with that?
Some people may think that you're not using the law to redress a grievance, that you're using it to stifle dissent.
No, I'm trying to stifle harassment. To protect the public servant who's a target for every disenchanted wacko with a pen and a piece of paper.
Well, it has the same effect, doesn't it? To discourage the right to petition. And petitions are part of our heritage, aren't they?
So are lawsuits.
Here we go.
Do you know this guy Bolsa who's defending the petitioners?
Uh-huh. He leaves his Beverly Hills condo every day with a leash looking for underdogs. Threatens to take everything to the Supreme Court. He's a wimp. Charles, it's good to see you.
Jed, it's been a long time.
It sure has. Listen, folks, why don't you just settle back and relax? But don't go too far in case we need you. Listen, if there's anything you'd like to drink, just ask Melissa there.
We shouldn't be more than half an hour. Conference room, Jed?
I thought my office would be a little more comfortable. What do you say to that?
Good idea.
Good.
How long has it been?
Nearly 2.5 hours.
I wonder if that's a good sign.
With what he's charging us an hour?
Did you see where Phil got $100,000 for that woman in Santa Monica?
Yeah, and I think he settled too soon. I'll bet the insurance company was ready to go for 2.
Huh? What happened?
What'd he say? What took so long?
All right, now take it easy, take it easy. I think we've got a deal. Now, we better go someplace where we can talk. Would you excuse us, please? Well, I got to tell you people, they want to hang tough with this lawsuit. But I finally got them to agree to drop it, providing you're willing to give up something in return.
Give up what?
Well, they want you to formally withdraw your names from the petition and drop sponsorship of the recall move.
You said yourself the recall was dead anyway. What else?
You've got to disband the Community Action Committee. That's it.
But we've been together 9 years. Our work is important. You said so yourself, Mr. Gruber.
You can continue your work. You just can't call yourselves Community Action Committee. All you got to do is start a new group.
In other words, they won. They made us back down.
I don't see where we have much choice, ladies.
It isn't a matter of backing down. This way you get out of it with minimum hassle. Look, the recall move is over, right? This way you avoid the risk of judgment against you. We give Garbers the illusion of victory.
Are they going to keep us from distributing petitions again?
No, you can have another one at the next election if you want. But knowing what Garber's response would be, I wouldn't advise it. Congratulations, you won.
Congratulations. Well, how do you feel about the outcome?
I don't feel like throwing a victory party.
Lou Grant will continue in a moment here on A&E.
Thanks, Sarah. We gave them a run for their money, didn't we?
Elvira, what's happening?
Oh, we're closing up shop. That's part of the deal.
Should I take these?
Oh, no, Anna, we won't be needing them.
Where are you moving?
Nowhere.
We stayed open a long time. Longer than we thought.
9 years.
You're not going to reorganize? Start another committee?
What's the point? After this, people would be afraid to speak up. They wouldn't sign a petition to get their curbs painted.
You're really giving up the fight?
The fighting's over, Billy. We learned that yesterday. These lawyers, they know how it's all going to end before you even start.
I think it's worth more than that, Art. This is an important story.
Okay, sell me.
Provides a good look at how the system works, or on occasion doesn't work.
That's not news. It's a story about a lawsuit that was settled out of court. 300 words.
It's a story about people who tried to participate in the political process and got squashed by it.
The little guy, right?
Yes. People who try to do more than just vote. It's an obituary. The death of a small pocket of ideals at the grassroots level. Well?
Okay, try it. But stick with the people angle. Go easy on that stuff about ideals.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Lou Grant.
Oh, he's in his office right over there.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. Grant.
Hi, Kenny. Sit down. I was very impressed with the paperwork. Did you get it filed okay?
Yeah, that part went fine.
Is there a part that didn't?
As your attorney of record, I was served with this when I got to my office today. Chuck's Plumbing is countersuing you for $15,000.
What for? How can he do that?
Just by filing that piece of paper. He claims your premises were unsafe, and he suffers headaches as a result of a gas leak caused by your faulty pipe. He says he's missed out on some huge jobs.
He's the one who caused the leak. What's he trying to pull?
The amount of the damages requested puts the matter before Superior Court, which overrides our suit and means at least 5 years just to get on the calendar because it's so crowded.
Let me get this straight. He is using the court to avoid going to court?
He figures a lot can happen in 5 years. The odds are you let the whole thing drop. Chuck's Plumbing is involved in 16 other cases just like this one.
No. This one's different, Kenny. I'm not going to drop it because I'm right.
Lou, the difference between being right and proving you're right is called legal fees. Even if you win, you lose. He holds your money long enough to double it, and the law allows him to keep the interest. I have to advise you to let it go.
I'll think about it.
I'm grateful you were able to see me on such short notice.
Well, busy as your schedule is, Jacob, we felt it best to grab you while we can.
That won't be a problem anymore. I've cleared a lot of things off my calendar.
I hope that means you've decided to concentrate more on us.
I'm afraid that decision has been made for me. In the past 2 weeks, nearly half of our clients have left to go with other firms. Are you thinking of leaving too, Margaret?
Yes, Jacob, I am. I think Ryan Lindstrom is a remarkable young man. He knows our operation intimately now. I'm not sure you do anymore.
You may be right. But I wonder if you know how many times Ryan got himself in over his head and needed me to bail him out.
How many times is that?
Twice. But they were important.
Well, I don't think I'd be overstating the case to say that the Tribune has felt a bit neglected. But after all, this newspaper is well over 50 years old. I suppose we don't have the flashy legs anymore.
Your business still looks pretty good to me, Margaret. And I don't want you to leave. From now on, I will handle all your problems personally. I seem to have the time for it. And if you still want to change firms after a year, I'll refund half of my retainer.
A lawyer with a money-back guarantee? Sounds too good to be true.
What have you got to lose?
A very good friend. It's a deal.
Mr. Gruber?
Hello, Miss Norman. Over here.
How about another pound of bratwurst? My husband loved it the other night. What's this?
What do you think? It's a petition.
Well, aren't you worried about another lawsuit? What about your store?
It's my store. It's my petition. I figure if those ladies could invest 9 years in the community, now it's my turn.
What made you decide to do this?
Ever since we made that deal, it bothered me. Maybe it was because our attorney was trying to make us believe that we won when we really lost. Maybe it was the way he made us feel that we didn't have enough money to be right.
You realize you could end up in the same trouble all over again.
What's the big deal? Why should Garbus get so upset about a little piece of paper?
Exactly how many people are in the 14th Street Action Committee?
Just one. But it's a start.
Better make that 2 pounds of bratwurst.
Rossi, where have you been? I need you to do some rewrites.
Fine. First, I got to finish this article on this kid I've been writing about.
We've done all that. First, he was dying, and you wrote a wonderful, heartwarming piece about his courage. Then they discovered the diagnosis was wrong, and you did a story about how he would live. What wonderful, heartwarming angle have you missed?
How about an article about the wonderful, heartwarming $6 million lawsuit his parents have filed against the doctor who made the wrong diagnosis?
You mean they're suing a guy because he made a mistake and the son isn't going to die?
You got it.
200 words, tops.
If that.
You decide what to do about Chuck the plumber?
I'm dropping this suit. It's cheaper than the aggravation I'd have to go through for 5 years.
I suppose you're right. You don't need that in your life.
It's just I feel helpless. He's the one who did the damage, and suddenly I'm the one in jeopardy. I wish there was something I could do.
Best thing you can do is forget it.
I heard about your plumbing hassles. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay, Linda. At least I finally got it fixed.
Your attorney was too nice. You ought to get yourself a real cutthroat lawyer. Go after the guy. You might even get a piece of his business.
I don't want to get his business. I want to get even.
All right. You've been at it for 2 hours now. Why don't you go on home?
I have no intention of going home.
What do you want?
I want you to pay for the damage you caused to my house.
We've been through all that already. Look, get out of here. I get a lot of work in this neighborhood. I can't do my job with you slandering me.
You can't do your job, period.
I'm gonna call a cop.
Say hi for me, and be sure to tell him that I am on a public sidewalk.
You just better get out of here or else.
Or else what?
Or else I'll sue you.
Get in line, pal.
He was revered as godlike by the Japanese people. But how did Emperor Hirohito rise to such power? We'll find out when Road to Victory Week continues on Biography tonight. Now, the cops try to break up a gang war in Chinatown on Police Story. Next on A&E.